Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Madeleine Parker, and this afternoon I'm going to do an Astro Tarot study on the energy of Gemini for the month of June 2020. And we're going to take a good look at what is going on for you guys. Now, it's hard for me to do these every month for every single sign, but I figured halfway through the year would be a good time. And plus, we do have these eclipses in June. We've got quite a bit of planets in retrograde, so it's a very interesting astrological time that I thought it would be an interesting time to study each sign. So let's go ahead, and I have some kind of a thread on me. All right, so now I like to think, of course, these reads, we're looking at the energy of Gemini, whatever planet you can have in that sign, whatever house Gemini covers for you, and your ascendant, of course, mostly, but your sun and your moon. Okay, so I have no planets in Gemini, but my north node, I have planets in Cancer in 0 degrees, and sometimes I do read Gemini reports because it's very close. All right, so let's take a look for you guys, Gemini. Anyway, firstly, thank you for being here and watching. And all right. So we have the sun coming into the month is in your first house. So I would think that you're probably quite motivated. This time you've got an energy recharge. It's your solar return. But the sun is going to move into Cancer at the end of the month. So it's probably a sort of a big drop in your energetic level, maybe going calmer because that puts it puts it in your second house. So you might just be sort of, maybe there's initiations right now, which then when the sun moves into Cancer, you then sort of take a lower key time and just sort of make money for a while because it's in your second house. Then we've got Mercury in your second house. So communication, Gemini is the sign of communication anyway. So with Mercury, and Mercury is going to go retrograde towards the 18th, right? The 18th. So Mercury in Cancer in your second house, plus the sun in Cancer at the end of the month, putting the sun in your second house. Gemini is Mercury communication. So I would say a money income period with communication that you're initiating right now at the beginning of the month and in May. Okay? There's going to be a focus on communications and maybe small businesses and projects around finances. We've got Venus in your first house in retrograde. So you're revisiting old possible the twin flame or divine mated relationships, revisiting possible issues in your divine mate relationship, or going back to wanting a divine mate relationship or wanting that kind of a connection, because there is a communication compatibility, which with all these communication planets going into Gemini with all this sort of extra energy in communication right now, perhaps there's a deeper need for a soulmate communication relationship, if that makes sense, hopefully. Then we've got Mars in your 10th house. So status, career, focus, a lot of your male energy, I guess, is career and money, right? 10th house is money, so perhaps a new initiations, making money, communicating, activating career advancement, I would say. Then we've got Jupiter in your 8th house. So I would say at the same time, these are new initiations, confronting fear, because we've got your South Node in Gemini. So there's releasing of old, we've got the North Node in the sign of Gemini right now. So you're probably exploring new ideas and new ways of communication or new small businesses, the 3rd house. But Gemini is the 3rd house. So, you're releasing an old belief system, South Node Sagittarius, releasing in the 9th house beliefs around communications or beliefs around living on a day-to-day, because 3rd house is also day-to-day, business, siblings, communication. So you're releasing an old way of operating as Gemini, operating in a whole new way, because we got the 1st house, the North Node in your 1st house, you're exploring a new belief system that will change your identity and change who you are and increase your finances. A new belief system, this new belief system is going to support your new, it's because you've got this Jupiter in your 8th house, you're letting go of a limiting belief that prevents you from being spiritually aligned and aligned in a higher mission or higher calling. And you're going to be more aligned there's a fear you're seeing in retrograde. You're going back, re-clearing a fear that stops you from walking sort of your true divine path or your highest guru version of you, light worker version of you, having more faith. And then we've got Saturn in your 9th house, RX, belief systems around career and status. And this goes back to the 10th house with Mars. So you're releasing a security perspective around finances and taking more of a leap of faith spiritually and exploring new frontiers, new thoughts, new ideas for small businesses, communication. You're releasing, there's a fear that's been released here about a belief system that held you back, about finances too, in the 8th house with Jupiter in the 8th house. They're going to be more bold, risk-takey, I think. Let's see what the cards say. That's what I like to do these for, because then when I do the cards, it'll pull this whole story together. That's what I find. We have Uranus in your 12th house. Again, that's Uranus is in Taurus and it's in your 12th house. So you are definitely shifting beliefs around finances, possibly releasing choices based in security, because that's these planets in Capricorn or karma releases security-based choices, which are fear-based. And then Neptune in your 10th house, gaining more clarity, gaining more vision. It's in the sign of Pisces, so you're channeling ideas or higher visions about, it's probably not quite clear right now, but coming into clarity, a new career, a new way of advancing status-wise, legacy-wise. Then we've got Pluto in your 8th house, deep fears, releasing some deep traumatic past life karmic fears around money, finances, sex. Security, senses of security. You're finding a new form of God. You know, you're discovering a sense of divine protection, or that the divine is there for you in an all-around level. North Node in the 1st house, again, giving you confidence to sort of step out onto your mission, I would think, your true divine calling, or what you were created for, which is what Jupiter wants to light up for you. So you're going to go back and revisit something that Jupiter wants for you, that you just needed more faith around. Okay, so then we've got this eclipse in June. We've got 2 eclipses. We've got I always mix them up, lunar eclipse on the 5th and 6th of June for you guys. That's going to be, it's in the sign of Sagittarius. So for you guys, that's in your 7th house of relationships. Okay, yeah, relationships. So possible crisis around relationship, but creating, it's in the sign of Gemini, communication around relationships, possibly with Venus in retrograde, relationships from the past. You have a new belief shift system. You may reignite a relationship. You may have to address some issues and conflict, but because it's usually crisis or something, but may not be. Maybe it's in a culmination of a realization that you want a mate that you have better communication with. Okay, and then we have the full moon eclipse in the sign of Cancer, 0 degrees, hits your 2nd house. Cancer is empathic, healing. You'll probably start a path, because don't forget, we've got your North Node in your house, in your 1st house. So possibly this eclipse is going to, what house am I putting this eclipse for you? It's in your 12th house. Wait. It's in your 2nd house. So possibly a whole new way of earning money, you know, coming in relation to home and living. All right, well, let's see what the cards have to say. All right, calling in the highest guides and angels for this read, so that we may guide Gemini to their highest best destiny in love and life. And if you could please give me clarity on how to clarify this read. Thank you. And let's go ahead. Gemini is 3. It's the 3rd house. So let's go ahead and make the deck 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 6 of Wands is the bottom of the deck. 10 of Pentacles. That's so crazy. I'm getting really powerful cards. Here's that water sign. This is some 12th house energy. What did I say? We're going to keep that chart open. 6 of Pentacles, decision making. project. That's that third house. Good news, communication. Gosh, I've got this strange invisible thread on me. All right, so we get the Six of Wands, and I guess it wants to go here. So let's go ahead and take a look for you guys, Gemini. Interesting. Okay, let's go. Looks like abundant times here in a way that I would say it's a financial, because we get the Six of Pentacles in this spot turned away, in your heart of hearts, this wasn't something you thought you could give, or you couldn't make a decision around it. Then I get the King of Swords here making a decision. Here's this communication card. So, and then we get the World card. So I would say that Ten of Pentacles decision. There's an understanding, a clarity, or decision being made to go for something that's higher, involving a relationship. In other words, reaching a higher standard in an area that in your heart of hearts you didn't feel was going to pay. But now you're seeing pays, and you're discovering that you're discovering communication from heart, making decisions, taking something forward. This is that fear card, Pluto. So the message is that in an area that in your heart of hearts you didn't believe in, you didn't feel would reciprocate, would give back, would pay, you now know, you have clarity, decision making to go ahead and take this project, communication, and take it to, in other words, hold the ground. You now have belief. That's that Jupiter in your, where did I say Jupiter is for you guys? That's that belief in your 8th house, Jupiter in your 8th house. You've got a shifting. You've released a fear around a belief system, because now you believe you can win at something you felt you had to let go of because you didn't think it would pay. So you've now made a decision. You have clarity, and you want to make a decision that you want to base your decision on operating in a faith trust, because you believe that this project, communication again, that this project is something to take forward, possibly start a small business on. You can do it from home, and it gives you home fulfillment. So you've shifted your belief system. You now believe that you can win at something through belief, through steady progress forward and believing in it because it fulfills you, and that's enough reason to put your energy behind it. So we get something that you believed you had to let go of financially, didn't think it would pay, would not provide you quite the level of finances you would like to attain. You now see when you cooperate or co-business with someone brings you, we get both the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. So brings you both financial. A lot of people's reads are going to have a very similar message. All these planets are kind of pushing everyone's lives the same way, to have more faith in something that's in your heart and desire to do, because it's actually what you look. This is the Judgment card. You're waking up, Gemini, to what it is that you want, and to trusting that you can do it. And even if it is at this early phase here, which is the Page of Pentacles, to nurture it, hang in there with it. It's fulfillment, it's heart fulfillment. Plus, I think, again, this can be done at home, because this is, a lot of people are shifting their work to home businesses, to home way, to less commuting because of the traffic and because of the pollution. And it's just, it works. We can do it. So why not, right? So a lot of people I know are shifting their businesses in some way, shape, or form to more online and at home. We get the King of Cups here, indicating empathic, heart-based relationships, fulfillment, hanging in there. There's a new priority really for Gemini. That's the main thing. Because if I get I get a cup, we get so much strong cups here. And we're letting go, and then we get the Six of Swords. Again, 2 sixes, balance, being of service. There's like a fear that we get the Moon here. Understanding, leaving emotionally troubled waters behind, because that's what the Six of Swords is, sort of having had a sort of a new awakening, to embody a new perspective, clarity about what you want. in a way that creates harmony in relationships and at home, leaving fear-based choices. You're now aware that these fear-based choices were from lack of were sourced in a lack of security in the divine to provide, because that's the divine awakening card. So that's exactly what these planets in the 8th house are all about. You discovering a new sense of divine within yourself, like an ability to attain your own destiny, to actually have the power to attain the world through in a way that does emotionally fulfill you. You just got to hang in there and trust, because the moon card is showing you that you have to nurture some fears that created a past for you. That's what all this planets in Capricorn is sort of clearing karmic fear-based attachment choices. So you're leaving these fear-based choices that were created emotionally unfulfillment in your past, which is why now we're heading towards emotional fulfillment and combining income with emotional fulfillment and at home projects, communication around home, but that you're willing to trust in the situation. So even if, like, we do get the 10 of Pentacles right off the bat, so that indicates that we are coming, that there is something in the works, because the 10 of that placement of a card is current. That's happening right now. So I would say something is clearly in progress, that something financially abundant around you, communication brings you good news in a project. You may not be trusting it, is what this read is saying. You may not be sure, because air signs have a tendency to not trust their intuitions as much. They're not as water sensitive signs. They're not as intuitively. That's why they really do like card reads. I do a lot of card reads for air signs. They lose sense of what they feel. So in their heart, they're not, there tend to be some sort of confusion. Gemini and Libra, they have decision-making issues. So this is decision being made, understanding that a financial abundance can occur in an area that they previously did not believe could. This is a shift in belief systems. 9th house, with that Jupiter in your 8th house, of fear being cleared. And then your South Node in Sagittarius, a whole belief system around small businesses and money and finances in a way that actually makes you happy at home. I'm very curious to see what that would be. I mean, a lot of different ways, but there's this awakening around this. Empathic, more heart fulfillment, a way of living, and being abundant. And it has to do with communication. Small businesses, making a decision, knowing now, awakening to seeing you can have something better. It's just that you've got to take this forward. It's at the beginning stage. Take it forward. Hang in there with it. This is a very prosperous way for you to go. There's victory in this. So hopefully that resonates with something you are going through. All right? It says adjustments are required. So in other words, you may not necessarily have faith in this, because you may have a not strong intuitive connection maybe around this, but to go ahead and have faith in this and just make the adjustments if it's not completely 100% paying you right now the way you like, to make you feel secure about it. We're just in a phase of adjustment around this. But you're going to be more emotionally happy. See, a new start is coming. These are these eclipses coming up. So you're going to be a lot happier. And I see 444. It's 4 o'clock here. 4:44. Well, actually 4:43, but it's about to turn 4:44. So you've got a new start coming. So a personal issue reaches resolution. Believe in the impossible. That's what I was saying. Something you don't believe in. Pretty cool. All right, Gemini. All these planets in your house. Venus, Mercury. Oh, that's in Gemini. In June, Mercury will be in the sign of Cancer. So more calm down. But again, this is the sign here with the King of Cups is Cancer energy. So at the end of the month, you coming into a more intuitive, heart-guided approach and just sort of hanging in there. But this does bring abundance. And you are an abundant initiation here. All right. Thank you for watching. Namaste.